Rehoming fish isn't talked about a lot because it's kind of controversial, so let's talk about 3 times I personally got rid of fish and where they went. Probably the most painful story would be Sonic the betta fish. He was meant to be the centerpiece fish for my community tank, and it didn't work out. He was way too aggressive, so I kept him in a 5-gallon bachelor pad for a while, and then my best friend Zelda offered to take him. So I ended up flying him 1,500 miles, and I personally set up this betta tank for her with a cycled sponge filter, the whole works, everything. And he had a great life there after we solved that little issue with the heater zapping him. But unfortunately, he recently passed away of old age, and what do you know? Zelda went to the local fish store and got her own betta. So really cool to welcome another new fish keeper to the hobby. In my second example, I want to talk about live bearers because they are notoriously easy to breed, but can be sometimes hard to offload depending on the demand in your local market. So I had some dwarf red coral platies, absolutely gorgeous, but breeding out of control, and they were starting to hog all the food from the rest of the tank mates. So I raised up my first batch of juveniles and then ended up selling them to my local fish store for store credit. But I'm not sure if they just weren't in demand or that fish store wasn't doing as well, but they sat in the store for a really long time, so I didn't feel comfortable bringing them even more platies to sell. So eventually I ended up giving away all of the platies except for a few males that wouldn't breed, and I took them to Petco. Didn't realize that they no longer take donations for, quarantine and disease reasons, but fortunately there was an employee there who said that she wanted them all and she took them all from me, so that was great. Now, if you've been with me for a while, you know that my kitchen tank has always been set aside for breeding projects. Things like pygmy corydoras, cherry shrimp, and basically once I'm successful at breeding them, I end up selling them all and getting a new species to try breeding. Now, last year, Zenzo from Tazawa Tanks gave me 6 shell dwellers, and I had them for about a year and ended up making about 100 of them, more actually. And if you know anything about selling fish, it's kind of really hard to get rid of baby fish because they have to reach what is called a sellable size in order to be attractive to customers. But in my case, I wanted to rehome the whole colony so that I could put something else in that tank. Now, my local aquarium society has 2 major auctions per year, and that is the perfect time to sell fish because then I can make bags with groups of adults and offspring all mixed together. Now, at an auction, you're not necessarily going to get optimal pricing, and I don't know if it's my area, but African cichlids don't necessarily go for as much. They're not as popular here, so the amount I got for the 100 fish did not even match the price of the crazy expensive next day shipping that Zenzo had paid for. So please go to his channel to show him some love and subscribe because I'm trying to help him reach 100,000 subscribers. Now, I've still got a very logical engineering mindset, so to me, there's not a lot of difference between rehoming fish I bought and selling fish that I bred. So if you don't have a local fish store or aquarium society nearby, try selling them online at Aquabid, eBay, Craigslist, and so on. It can be a little nerve-wracking to ship fish, so check out my tutorial here to guide you through the process. Take time to enjoy your aquariums, and I'll see you in the next video.